Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 14 of the Barbells and Banter podcast. Today I'm joined by Bobby as my co host, and we've got Claire and Denise on to talk about reffing in the NIPF. With a little bit did you prepare hot takes?
I did. I've a few. I got carried away.
I've got questions first, and then we'll go to the hot takes, and then we'll go to Instagram questions that were answered on a sticker during the week that
I can
were
only
quite
imagine.
funny to watch or quite funny to see. So we'll start with the first question, and we'll get Denise to ask it or to answer it first, because then we'll just save you spotting in on each other. How long have you both been competing and then reffing for?
Um, Clare a lot longer than me for a start. I think mine is about 8 to 10 years competing, and probably about six refereeing. I did my referee course as soon as you could, so
Yeah,
probably about six refereeing.
fair enough. Claire?
Yeah, a bit longer. I started lifting, started powerlifting in 2012. I did my first competition 2013, which was a bench only comp in the rock pit. And then just progressed from there. And reffing, I don't know, Denise, is it 4 or 5 years? I thought you were longer than 6, but 4 or 5 years, maybe. Don't know. Long enough.
For
But
reference,
And
yeah, time flies.
and you
whenever you
both
start, or sorry, Bobby, go ahead.
you have both competed for Great Britain at some time and equipped, both equipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get some classic going.
Oh, too much equipped in the last two episodes. And Claire, for reference, I was in P1 whenever you started competing.
Johnny, thanks for making me feel really old.
I think his eyes widened when I said when I heard 2012.
I love doing that.
Yeah, long time ago.
Bobby, do you want to go ahead now?
Yeah. Next question is there anything that you've learned specifically from doing your rafting qualifications and rafting competitions regularly that you wouldn't have paid attention to as a lifter?
Denise?
Oh gosh, you would like to think by the time you become a ref, you have a good bit of experience as a lifter, so there shouldn't be much that you're overlooking, to be fair.
Is
But
there
every day is a school day. You're always learning as a referee. That's why, like the likes of me and Claire, Colin, Mike, and Lauren, Ricky, there's a multitude of referees always try to get away to the national events because it's just the experience for learning.
is there a certain amount of time you have to be competing to become a ref? Obviously, people won't just jump straight in like a year or 6 months into it. And I think after 2 or 3 years in the sport, you sort of think, oh, maybe I know these rules well enough. Maybe I could do my exam and try and help out the federation a wee bit.
Yeah,
But is
I
there
mean
a limit on?
it's a great way of giving back to the sport as well as because usually by the time everybody's done a bit of spotting and loading their admin or MC, so it's lovely to progress on to be a referee. There is IPF say 2 years, so 2 consecutive years of membership, or 24 months, and over
Yeah.
18 is so it's not a lot to ask. Um, Obviously, the more experience I think you have, and the more exposure you have, for me, the better.
Yeah.
There is a ref who she's not I think it's an Irish PF, and she's not a lifter, and she's a referee, and I think to have the experience of lifting, knowing what it's like, knowing knowing that, just having that experience of a lifter, I think is vital coming to the referee role, because you can be very clinical or look at things a different way whenever you're reffing somebody without having the experience of lifting, you know.
Yeah.
But certainly, you know, anybody over the 2-year mark of competing or being in the federation and have the membership, absolutely jump in and put your name down for reffing, because it's certainly very easy for all of us to watch on YouTube and watch from the audience and say, oh, that referee, why did they give that? Why did they call that? You know, it's very easy. But whenever you're sitting in the seat, you obviously have a different view of things and you can see things differently from a different angle. So it's the biggest pet hate of mine whenever we're reffing and somebody will come up to me and show me a photo of their lift and say, oh, this is depth.
Yeah,
Like,
that's like not the angle you saw.
no, and certainly not from a photo. One competition I had a guy give me a video and a photo of his wife depth, and I was like, yeah, I watched it in real time and it still wasn't in. So off you know.
And it's
So
a
Do you,
it's
split
do you
very
ever
second,
see on it?
split second thing as well.
yeah, and you can only say what you see at the time, you know.
Yeah.
We're all human, we all make mistakes, we all miss things. So yeah. For all the armchair referees, put your money where your mouth is.
Have you ever seen on Instagram a post that's put up from someone in IFAF, and it's in the caption it'll be like, yeah, this squat was fine, but it was called depth or something. How do you take that as a ref?
Biggest pet hate it.
Yeah.
It's like, if you have an issue, do it at the time. You have a time frame after the lift to say what happened, what was wrong, blah blah blah. Not 20 lifters down at the break. Why did you not give me that? Why did you whatever? And then to go and put it on social media, it actually just makes you look a bit like a sore loser, if I'm honest. I mean, not to jump onto the hot takes, but you know, referees don't hate you. Believe it or not, half the time we don't even know who you are, to be honest. So we don't, you know,
Exactly.
So we're not out to get you. I suppose it's just be better, you know, lift to the standard, lift to the rules.
Yeah.
Make it, and another pet hate of mine is make it undeniable. I hate that word, but make it undeniable to referees. And then you've no bitching on social media.
Yeah, but
I just
it's a
think
true word, so like make it so
I know.
it's not deniable.
Yeah, I have a nick list and that word's on it. But anyway, that's a side matter.
Some people know
But
how
yeah.
my appearance is with that word, so
Okay. You feel personally attacked?
Or you
no, I just
go
used it a
like-
lot for my first commentary,
Okay.
and I've been
You can say
taking
like
the piss
that-
out of the whole
that-
time.
You could
Was
say
it?
like that depth was borderline or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like 50-50. You don't want to leave it like half refs say yes, half refs say no, because
Yeah.
it's a 2-1 decision, and then you've missed out on 10 kilos.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Don't let the refs have an in. If you're lifting to a high standard and you know they can't give you a red, they can't. And if you're lucky or unlucky to have a jury, they can't be put over to the jury with reds for them to make a decision. So yeah.
Was it the first time NI had a jury at a competition, Open Nationals? Was either of you on that jury?
Both of us. Yeah.
But
It's the
how
first time
do you
that it hasn't been like a, you know, for home nations, or when we host home nations, or the British Masters, you know, at all national events, you know, you should have the option of a jury, ideally. So
Yeah.
it was always a bit of a goal of mine as technical to bring in at our nationals, and the Sammy's bench is classed as a national, so you can break GB records at Sammy's and stuff. So yeah, it'd be just nice to have both for the benefit of the lifter, but also then when there's the odd wee escaped lift that you think to yourself, I wouldn't have given that myself. So it's a safety net for both the referees and the lifters.
Yeah, what's the biggest difference you feel like when you're sitting on the jury table as opposed to when you're sitting in one of the 3 seats watching the competition? They talk about like Worlds was a very active jury. in that if you've seen a white light and two reds, or if you've seen a red light and two whites, it was likely overturned. Just how different of an experience is it? Isn't it that you have to have a unanimous decision between the 3 to 5 of you?
Yeah, so there's a 3-man jury, or you can have a 5. So if it's 3, it has to be unanimous. Then it just has to be the majority. But we do have the luxury of having a replay. But I think the one thing to remember is that it has to be an obvious mistake, or sometimes, because with bench there's so much to watch now. And a side referee could be busy looking at the feet or the bar touching the chest and miss a bum lift. And that's just the way it is. So it's not a big massive fault of the referees on the platform, but it is a luxury having that replay. And it's good that also as well is it can go either way. You know, yes, you can overturn it to no lift, but it's really important to remember actually it's a great way to being able to get it replayed and a good lift.
Yeah. I think we only overturned 2 whenever I was on the jury. Certainly, we only overturned 2 lifts, one to good, one to bad. So, yeah, I find the jury quite boring though, because you're just really sitting there waiting for a red light so you can do something.
Was either of you reffing at British juniors, sub juniors? I know that they didn't have a jury, but is that just? I'm assuming that if they had enough people to volunteer, they would have one. So the people that are complaining, why is there no jury? There's just not enough people to ref, because I know that there was 2 platforms going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to make it a week-long event.
Yeah. I think the situation with volunteers in powerlifting is a tale as old as time. I was on the committee myself a while ago for comms, and trying to get people to volunteer, even for spotting and loading. People don't want to do it for whatever reason. I know there's a big push with the NIPF now trying to get people to volunteer, but I mean, I know of certain lifters who have never lifted a hand to help either reffing, spotting, loading, admin. I get that spotting and loading can be scary if, you know, you're worried about you're competing yourself, getting injured and whatever else. But, you know, if it's done properly and done well, there's no chance you can get injured. Well, there's obviously some chance, but less chance to get injured. I just think there's no excuse for people not putting themselves forward. I suppose back in the day when I started, when Johnny was in P1, there was less people, but everybody mucked in, everybody did a bit, with spotting and loading, and I suppose now with reffing, a bit of a pet hate of Denise's and I, that people sign up for reasons that are not totally wanting to help the organisation or help powerlifting. They want to further their own online presence, whether it be coaching or making themselves look great on social media. And then when it actually comes down to it, it's the same referees putting themselves forward to help. And I'm not like, I love refereeing. I love when I spot and loaded. I love spotting and loading. I love competing. I love training. And I'm happy to do it, but it does get a bit tiresome whenever people are not putting themselves forward. And there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be. It's great crack, and you know, you're in the best position. You can watch all the action, particularly spotting and loading. You can cheer on your fellow lifters. You can be a part of the community of powerlifting. So I think everybody should at least once a year help out. And also I know Trevor alluded to it in terms of people doing it for national invites. Another one that grinds my gears. That is despicable. People, I'm going to go and do an hour's platform manager. I'm going to do an hour of doing the jack for a deadlift so I can be considered for an international selection. Get in the bin, as far as I'm concerned. People like that is just no.
And even like, I think my favourite volunteering experience was spotting and loading at nationals whenever Ricky was the platform manager, because I'd never spotted and loaded before that, and I was sort of scared. Like, he pulled us all aside and was like, have you spotted and loaded before? Have you spotted and loaded before? And I hadn't, and I said to him that, and then he basically taught me how to spot and load in a different way than I already did in the gym. And I was also going to lead on and say that there shouldn't be anything deterring you from doing stuff like spot and loading, because say if you get hurt, like, there's plenty of people that will be a platform manager they should check that you're comfortable with doing it, and if you're not, then they show you how to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I actually saw a really good video there that Jay Farrant had put up. I think it's an old video, but he's put a video up of like how to spot, obviously with the recent stuff with IPF Worlds, with the criticism over the spot and loading with your man's leg getting involved and whatever else. He obviously did it as a dig to the IPF. But it's a really useful, really good video to show how to spot and load. Standing like this under the bar is not going to help anybody. So yeah, there's all that stuff out there, and yeah, as you say, people who are more experienced on the platform showing you how to do it and helping you. So yeah. And competitions can't run without people. So
yeah, like how you they just don't come out of thin air.
Yeah.
Either.
You see both sides of it, because I remember being a younger, like in first year and a half, and you go, I wouldn't feel confident to get under that bar. But then there's other jobs that can be filled that doesn't require you to be anywhere near the platform. You can, like, there's MC, warm-up room manager, which all are spots that need to be filled. Yeah. And if you take that spot, maybe someone more confident won't have to do that, and they can go on the platform and spot load for you.
Yeah, even the very unglamorous stuff of setting up and tearing down, like that's a major job that it falls to the committee, the same people all the time. So if you don't want to be anywhere near the scary stuff, you can do other stuff too, just as you say, Bobby. So yeah.
Do you know how many refs we have in Northern Ireland?
Denise?
The Federation.
What have we? We have I'm going to say 40 something.
How many of them are active?
I know you
it seems
time and time again.
It's like you go into competitions, so it's always like the same 10 people in front of you.
So in our WhatsApp group at the minute there is 41, and there's a few. We have like Desi and Duke are we OGs, and they're obviously not really okay. I say this as I couldn't log on as technology, but they we do really miss them. They were very, very good for learning from. But the likes of them. So yeah, 40, mid-40s we have, but
that's crazy. I didn't even know there's that many.
It's difficult even to get a one-day comp. So yeah, we were very proud of getting the jury and all. It is growing, and I love the recruit referees. I think we put out like an expression of interest recently there for more referees, and there was a bit of interest. There's five people put their names forward. I don't know. I've put people who've promised the sun, the moon, and the stars, and we get them through their exam, and you're sitting 2 years down the line, and they've done one half a day.
And isn't there a requirement, Denise, of competition-wise?
There is a minimum, but I personally, for me, I don't think the minimum is. I think it's too minimalistic. It's if you're a divisional referee and national and international, it's all obviously different. But as a divisional, it's 2 within 2 years.
Which isn't a lot.
What is the reffing exam like? Is it, because I've seen people sitting giving red light or green light or white light with someone sitting beside them? Do you also have to do like a written or practical other part?
Yeah, so we run it in the morning. It's just a wee morning session. And it's an online exam, so it's multiple choice. It's 84 questions. And you find out there and then whether you pass, which is really great, and you get your badge and your tie. It's really, we do work really hard in supporting people getting through it. So yeah, if just people then used it, that would be really nice.
Back in the day, you had to sit in an exam-like session. It was deathly silence, all written, paper exercise. Yes, with Duke and Desi staring on. Yeah, well, here, it wasn't that long ago, God's sake. But it is a lot easier.
Yeah, them two were like going round asking you questions, like you were sitting in a classroom in school, and like just pointing at you and saying, name all the female weight categories, and you had to round them off. And then it was a written exam, and it was sent away to get marked, and you didn't hear for about 3 weeks.
You
Oh.
went to British powerlifting, Doreen, and you never heard, and for 3 weeks waiting on whether you'd passed or not. Whereas now, obviously they hear straight away. So
Straight
yeah.
away, yeah. So I mean that's a benefit. And then we do in the NIPF we do 2 shadow sessions. That was always kind of offered to all referees. It's not compulsory by any means. Although
You can have more if you
you
want.
can have more. You can. I mean, if you're confident, you can have. I've never had anybody say no. I'm all right.
Or maybe
I'll
should have
carry
had
on.
some. Some
Uh,
people maybe should have had more than 2.
I think it's people's confidence at refereeing. Believe it or not, they come across as as fine, but I mean, you give them a set of lights and they doubt themselves. So.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's easy to just be like a coach or a lifter and look at the lift and go, yeah, that was a good lift. But then when they're sitting with the buttons in front of them and they're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Well, that's
pressure. It is.
Yeah, and you want people like as a lifter yourself, you know how much hard work goes into training and getting ready for a competition. You want lifters to do well. You don't want to be giving out red lights and
Yeah.
I know it
Yeah.
may seem like we're just being dicks and oh, she's giving me a red light. I did have one lifter say to me, "It's always that center ref, she's giving me red lights." And I was like, "Mate, I don't
And
even
were
know who
you
you
that
are. Just do it
center
right."
You were that person.
If I don't see
Yeah,
depth, I'm not gonna see depth.
yeah, like, and I don't take any pleasure giving red lights. Although Sammy from our gym says there's a WhatsApp group for people who've been given given red lights. It's like a support group for people who've suffered a red light at the hands of Clare.
Like Alcoholics Anonymous or something. No, like with you not wanting to give red lights, it's sort of like, say, most teachers say they don't want to give they don't want to give they don't want to take away marks from you on an exam, and they just want to give you marks. But obviously, if they don't see something that's right, then they have to call you out on that. You have to be kept accountable.
Yeah. And you wouldn't want to get a lift if you yourself knew your bum lifted or you weren't to depth and you looked it back and you got it. You wouldn't feel like, well, I don't know. I personally wouldn't feel
Yeah,
happy
neither.
and wouldn't be able to celebrate. Oh, I got a really great lift in there and I got white lights if you knew yourself it
Because it's not
wasn't
the
up to
standard.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And like you can't really compare that against people. Say if you're like, say if that was at a national comp and that passed, but it wasn't depth, and you want to compare against somebody who you're going to go compete at, say, Commons, you're not going to be able to compare them because it's going to be theirs is going to have depth, yours is going to be borderline depth, but you got a white lights for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So
you're
you
actually
can't
doing
really.
people a disservice. Like at a local NI comp, oh, I got all white lights, I'm great. And then go to an international and, the
Yeah,
reffing is to a standard, you're not helping people out.
nah.
I think it's not personal either. It's like you have to take everything with you have to have a bit of thick skin, especially with like it's a small group of refs that will be refing you, so you'll come across same people over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I got depth call for by the same person.
Was it me?
It is out of the group chat.
It was the same person over and over again, and I said that I'd managed to get 2 squats, so it was always 2 to 1. But yeah, I sent him a video like the days after. I was like, "Is this an Instagram reel?" It was like how to hit depth, and I was like, "I must watch this." So I think you need to just not take the calls personally and step back and look at it from a coach's point of view or a ref's point of view.
Believe it or not, we don't remember. I know that sounds terrible, but it is a squat, and we're so busy looking at your knees and your hip creases that we kind of, it's the person, it's the lift.
Yeah.
And you could come to us within seconds after it and say, why did you give me that red light? And I'm like,
no.
I wasn't looking at your face, mate. I was looking at your hip crease.
And equally, I have given people white lights who I'm not the biggest fan of. So you take the personal side out of it. I would like to have given that person all red lights, but I couldn't. And that just shows you have to be impartial. You have to have integrity. you have to not, oh, I don't like him, so I'm going to give him a red light, as much as we would like to.
Yeah. We'll move on to the next question here. Has powerlifting in Northern Ireland changed much during your time in the sport, and if so, how? Whoever wants to answer it first.
I'm too young to answer that, Claire. You've been about long.
How rude. It's a really good question,
Oh.
actually. I think the introduction of social media probably hasn't been a great thing for powerlifting. In terms
That's fair
of, I think if social media wasn't about, I don't think we'd have as many powerlifters. I don't know whether that's just
Yeah,
me being
true.
old or what. I mean, from when I started powerlifting, there was 5 females in the NIPF. Shout out to Naomi McLean, who got me kind of into it. There's 5 females, and all 5 of us probably didn't have a Scooby-Doo what was going on. Ricky Mullen was obviously about then, was a big part of kind of when I joined. There was one female referee, I think. And I suppose that resulted in me getting weighed in Garva Leisure Centre in a cupboard, because I was doing a naked weigh-in and Ricky Mullen was weighing me. So I had me naked in a cupboard and the scales outside the cupboard. So in terms of the sport, it has grown massively. It's great seeing so many more women, and so many more like masters men and women getting into it. I think that's the thing I noticed at the British that I was reffing. I was reffing the M3s and M4s, and it was great to see older men and women just rocking up and giving it stacks on the platform. So powerlifting is obviously open to everybody.
Although I think you had to tell them to turn around at one point.
I did. God love the 2 of them were facing the wrong way for deadlift, which I've never seen in my refereeing career.
Is there anything wrong with that though? As objectively in the rules, is there anything saying you have to face the people?
Maybe they were trying to contest that. You never know.
I don't know. I don't want to see some older person's bum facing me. So
I think
I've
seen a stat there on the Instagram that now our reffing team is majority female. So it's good to hear that it's went from 1 till over 20 now, assuming.
Yeah.
What else has changed in powerlifting over the years? I mean, obviously, it started off, it was all equipped powerlifting, and then that disappeared for a while. I did Home Nations, I don't know what year it was, equipped, and it was my first foray into a bench shirt, and it's obviously coming back in terms of popularity. Denise is obviously 3 lifter, and Mike Gibson, he's been a big proponent of the equipped lifting. He's always been equipped, I think. You might correct me on that, but equipped lifting's obviously coming back with great interest, and there's a lot more people getting into it, which is kind of good to see too. What else has changed? Denise, any ideas?
Probably younger people as well. I mean, there's massive amounts of
bloody juniors and sub-juniors.
He's all he is.
You're going to ruin the sport, honestly.
That's another thing with social media. If we didn't have social media, then there probably wouldn't be as much of us, sub-juniors and juniors, I guess. Good thing and a bad thing, I'll say, yeah.
Yeah. I saw something on Instagram there a while ago about like the average lifespan of somebody in powerlifting is like 2 years or something, and it like obviously people get into it. They get in, they're making progress really quickly. They're getting PBs all around, and then that kind of tapers off after a while. And then you realize, actually, when you look at it, powerlifting's a really boring sport. It's really like
same 3 things.
Yeah, training can be boring. It can be monotonous. You can spend your life chasing, and I know this personally. You spend your life chasing something for a 2.5 kilo PB. So yeah, it's not the most glamorous of sports either. And I suppose, a lot of people get maybe disillusioned after 2 years. I think if you're in 2 years or more, you know that there's something not right up there that's keeping you at it,
That's what a lot of people I've asked said, like Jack Snoddy being one of them. Like there's definitely something wrong with you if you're like if you're on the spectrum or something, you're likely a powerlifter. Or if you're a powerlifter, you're likely on the spectrum, is what he said.
Yeah. It's all that kind of repetitiveness, isn't it? You know, numbers and yeah,
And just like the
Yeah.
little things and stuff like that.
yeah. I don't know what that says about me because I'm now coming into my whatever, what am I, 2012? Yeah, a lot of years.
Oh well. If
That's
you
a
enjoy
lot,
it, you
yeah.
enjoy it though. So
Yeah.
yeah. Is there anything you believe lifters who don't ref misunderstand or don't consider referees in their decisions? If we haven't covered that already, like, is there anything you believe lifters who don't ref misunderstand or don't consider referees in their decisions? I think that's the question.
I don't know. I do think there's a bit of, in terms of powerlifting, the humility in powerlifting has gone a little. You know, even this, like, I know Denise and I talk about this often in terms of like we shake our own hands at the end of the powerlifting competition, like that to me. And it's not just about referees; it's shaking, you know, fist bumping, spotters and loaders,
Yeah.
shaking referees' hands. It's just a sign of respect, and you know, somebody's given up their time to ref your lifts. So I think that has gone, and probably should, you know, people need to be a wee bit more humble. I suppose my biggest pet hate is this squealing and shouting at the top of a deadlift before you've even got the lights, beating your chest and squealing out to the audience, saying whatever. It's like, ugh.
What is
I
wrong
actually
with
listened.
this?
Sorry, I know, but I actually listened to a podcast there that Matt Henry had done, and it was really interesting him saying it too. You know, powerlifting is about enjoying it and not taking it too seriously. Like, nobody's getting paid out of this. Nobody is going to have a career as a world-class powerlifter. Well, apart from probably Jordan Bright, who is
Jordan
Yeah.
Bright.
amazing,
Who's
and
fourth in
you
the
know,
world? Like,
yeah, and has
On
been
body
sponsored
weight.
by
on bodyweight too.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's been sponsored by SBD and whatever. The rest of us, it's a hobby. It's like,
Yeah.
don't get too serious about it. And we should have other things outside powerlifting, you know,
Yeah.
because that can be, you know, powerlifting can be taken away quickly through injury and whatever else. So
Yeah.
yeah, I probably digressed on that question. Apologies.
I think Josh also said that like some people get too serious over powerlifting, that it
Mhm.
sort of takes away from everything else, and I really agreed with that. Like, some like people let it consume their life and then they burn out quickly and then they don't actually enjoy the sport. Like, that's probably why the average lifespan's 2 years.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there was a stat saying that the average amount of competitions a person does is just over one, which means like 10 lifters will do one competition and then one lifter will do about 10 and then keep going. But it's weird to think that someone will just pop in, do a competition, and just never show up again.
Yeah,
For
I can
me.
actually think of one person who's done that. And it was a crossover from CrossFit to powerlifting. Cracking lifter, really, really strong. Did a really good competition and then disappeared again. Do you know who I'm talking about, Denise? I can't even
Yeah,
remember her name.
there's been a few. There's been a few done that. Where they come in with a background of CrossFit, so they're naturally strong.
Yeah,
But then they just leave. They just
yeah.
click on it.
What one were we on? If you could take away one rule, what would it be and why? And then add one rule, what would it be and why?
Add another rule to the bench press so that you
Elbow
have to
depth.
look
Get rid of
again.
it. Get rid of elbow
Yeah.
depth. Stupid rule.
I think
Yeah, from
it's missing the point. I think it was brought in to take out like 2-inch range of motion bench presses.
Yeah, like
And then I
big
think
arches.
a lot of lifters they've got caught in the crossfire of like they're going down about 30 centimeters, but then middle refs sitting in like that, and they have to get a ruler out, and then they have to watch their feet and watch their ass and make sure they touch their chest and make sure they listen to commands. So I think it's a lot to listen for referees to watch in competition, and it's I don't I wouldn't want to be a ref watching a bench comp.
Wasn't there a lot of elbow depth calls at Worlds?
Yeah.
If I'm not
It
mistaken.
was
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of inconsistencies.
Controversial.
Yeah.
And it just looked absurd to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
obviously
it's
I'm not
hard
I
to.
think the
referee.
lightweight woman.
Yeah, I think whenever one got failed and then you looked at one that passed, there was very little difference, and
yeah.
it was hard to see, you know, why one was a good lift and one was a bad lift. I don't know. I think it's just like just you're saying, Bobby. It was aimed at taking out a small percentage of mostly female lifters who were doing those crazy arches and moving at an inch. There's not many of that. Not many of those women about, as far as I can kind of see. So to me, it's just an extra thing. And as you say again, when you're looking at bench, there's so many things to be looking at. That to me, elbow depth, yeah, get in the bin.
Yeah. And then what about
Because I
adding
did
one?
see,
Oh, sorry, Bobby.
I seen a record from 6-ish years ago, and like I can see why the rule was brought in, and it was like that amount of range, and it was from a man, like he just could bend his spine like that, and it was up down like that, and I was like, where is the lifting? And then I think that's how normal gym goers see us bent, like
Yeah.
arching and stuff.
Mhm.
It was really weird because I've been reffed by some of the people that were reffing at Worlds at some international comps that I did at Small Nations. I seen a couple of them, and I was like, it looks like they've been brought in and been like, right, you need to call anything on the line, or you need to watch for elbow depth, or you need to watch for thrusting, because
Yeah.
it felt like for bench Worlds it wasn't as big of a deal, or it was a bit more consistent, and you could see it and be like, that's a good lift, that's a bad lift. It was clear as day. But I think a lot of confusion came in. Like Alba Ballstrom lost 30 kilos on her bench. So doing that, and Meg obviously ran into issues, and I think the thrusting rule and the elbow depth rule is negatively impacting the viewership of the sport, because like a lot of big time powerlifter watchers, like nerds of the game,
Yeah.
can't tell if it's a lift's good or not anymore. So like, is there a meeting that happens before international competitions that all the refs are brought in and talked to about what is the focus this competition, or is it just it happened to be a talking factor?
Yeah.
Or a recurring theme?
I don't think there's an official talk of, right, we're going to fail everybody here on elbow depth.
Yeah.
But when it's a hot topic, yeah, and then if you call one person for it, I suppose then you're setting yourself, as a referee, you're setting yourself a standard. But I think if you're consistently calling people for the same issue, and you're starting to feel a whole flight of lifters for the same possibly issue, the same small issue, I think fair to say as a referee, you should be reflecting on your own ability and your own refereeing standard. That all these lifters wrong? Is there a whole flight not hitting depth? Is there a whole flight lifting their head, or for whatever reason it is? I think if you're starting to feel, whole flights of lifters, you do have to take a wee step back and look at yourself as a referee.
Yeah, rather than looking at the lifters.
Yeah.
Yeah. We cover what rule to add, or is there any?
And sumo.
Oh, that resonates with both me and Bobby. Bobby, this is fine. Sorry, Claire.
Ban people celebrating the top of their deadlift before they've got a white light.
I think that's fair enough. I think that is fair enough, but it does sort of like, it makes, I don't even know what the word is, but it sort of goes against
Johnny
me.
wants to celebrate at the top of his lifts. That's what he's saying.
The pictures Jack sent me were pretty cool looking, in my opinion. But it would have been a gym PR nonetheless.
I think if you remember to thank your referees after, it would be just,
yeah.
not a rule, but as Claire said earlier,
I feel like that should be a given.
Yeah, and I know when everybody's hyped up and they've got their last deadlift and they've worked really hard for it, you completely forget. Um, Important aspect for coaches to remind their lifters if they've
Yeah.
walked out and they've forgotten. Just please encourage your lifter to remind them to go and thank the
Yeah.
people that have
I think I
spotted
did
them,
in
loaded.
March. I can't remember.
It's all right. We're not pointing fingers at anybody, Johnny.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We haven't been watching your videos. So, actually, ironically, I didn't thank the referees whenever I was in Poland. Whenever I was doing a quick bench, I ran off because I benched 100 and I was so excited with myself. I
Yeah,
completely
sometimes you're
forgot
so
to run.
excited you forget. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was Laura and Elder as well that was on reffing me, and I completely forgot it. And I was like, I'm so sorry afterwards. I just got so excited.
Last question before we get onto the hot takes. Do you have any advice for newcomers entering into the referee exams? Because that was pretty recent. The NIPF put it up.
Do your homework. Read the rules.
Stay at
Read the
home.
book.
Yeah. The amount of people that sign up for it, and you're like, oh, have you printed the copy of the rule book out? Oh, no, I haven't done that yet. I was going to do that. Then 101.
Sounds about right.
Print your rule book out. And do you know what? Reach out to us. You know, you've a 40 odd referees in the NIPF. It's a small federation, and you have so many referees available to you. We are here to help. We're not scary people. Like,
Yeah, because it's only for
I
the
think-
love of the game as well.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
if you're gonna put yourself for refereeing, make sure you're doing it because you want to referee.
Yeah.
Don't do it for whatever other reasons and then say, "Oh, I can't commit to." And I get it. Like, people are busy, they have lives, they've training, blah blah blah. So just be mindful that if you are putting yourself to referee, you have the time commitment to at least one. What is it? 2 comps every 2 years, which is obviously too low, in my opinion. But you know, if you're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
yeah, you do get. I'm not getting at coaches.
But I am.
You have to think of how many lifters do you have, and that's fantastic for your coaching. You know, it's brilliant that you have so many powerlifters, bringing so many powerlifters into the federation. Fantastic, you know. But then, you know, do you have the time and the commitment to not just turn up, do an exam, pass it, put it all over social media that you've got your time, your badge, and you're an IPF ref, and that's brilliant. And then you're handling at every comp and you can't commit.
Yeah.
That's useless.
So it's either one or the other, really.
Yeah. So do it for the right reasons, as Clare said. Just, you don't have to do refereeing. By coaching, you're doing a fantastic role. You know, you're bringing lifters into the federation and keeping the standard right. Don't feel that you have to put on a tie and sit in the ref chair, but if you do, you know, do it for the right reasons. Because I mean, you are removed if you don't do your minimum requirement. And you don't want that either.
Yeah. Should we move on to the hot takes?
Yeah.
We covered most of them. We had a good
I know.
Just whatever hasn't been covered. I'll just leave it up to whoever wants to go first.
I know everybody's expecting me to say my hot take of GoFundMe, but it's not a hot take anymore because people are sick listening to me talking about it. I'll make it very quick mention on it. GoFundMe is for, honestly, grinds my gears so much.
That's fair enough.
I just think, why would I pay for your powerlifting holiday when you're a mediocre powerlifter? Maybe some people are. Some powerlifters are very good, and fair play to them for going to internationals. But for me, if I can't afford to go on a holiday, I don't go. I save, and I go the next time.
Yeah.
And it's your hobby.
It's a hobby.
Imagine paying for someone else's holiday for their hobby.
Like, to me, it is like tantamount to fraud. I've heard ridiculous amounts of people have raised through GoFundMe, through PayPal randomly as a new one as well. 12 grand to go to Commonwealth.
12 grand.
You know, flying your husband and you business class for 2 weeks in South Africa. You know, it just beggars belief that for a hobby you're asking people to give you money.
Like, if it were me, I'd be picking up more shifts in my job, or like picking up a second job.
Exactly.
To save for it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
you can get you can get grants from, there's organization. What do you call it? You can get like a grant from a local authority or from whatever. I mean, if you want to do 20 burpees, I'll give you a tenner for it, but just blatantly asking people for money is getting the
Yeah,
bin.
fair enough.
I think there's two sides of it, and obviously there's like the extent that you've talked about it. If someone's working a full-time job and they're a fully grown adult and they have that source of income coming in, there's like you're milking the cow if you're bringing to if you're just putting up and up and up every time you get an international. But I think for the likes of like younger sub juniors who maybe their family and friends might want to support them going, and they put it up once, and then the next time they know that it's coming and they start saving and saving. Like if you're like 15, 16, and you just don't have 1 or 2 grand to go,
Yeah,
and family and friends are talking about, we would sort of put a bit of money towards it anyway, or they'd
Yeah.
give you a card with a bit of money in it. But I think sometimes it's done a bit excessively and unnecessarily.
Yeah, it's
But there's always
weird because
exceptions.
every year it's Commonwealth always brings out the worst in people. Like, and like if when I was looking, it comes up in my memories of like I must be on about this for years. Every year it's like, oh, the Commonwealthers, I'm once again asking you for help. I don't know
yeah.
why it's associated so much with Commonwealth that people want to ask money from people to go. I don't know.
Even like I'll repeat what Jack Gilchrist said on his
Was he
episode.
talking about it too?
He was talking about it, but he said that he thinks that it's reasonable for sub juniors and younger juniors who are maybe in full time education or on just like the 16 to 18 minimum wage isn't very much, I'd
Don't
say.
go then.
And then he basically just explained that anybody late in the juniors or 21 plus shouldn't be putting up GoFundMe's, was basically his point.
Fair point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just GoFundMe triggers something in me. Triggers something in me.
Just a little warning bells or something.
Yeah. It's just it doesn't sit right. But again, each their own.
Yeah.
We did have a question from Daniel Allen.
I can only guess what it was about. GoFundMe.
It's how many likes to get Clare to post a GoFundMe from Daniel Allen.
I actually did post a GoFundMe.
Oh.
I seen this and I didn't know that this was satire, and I was scrolling past. I go, what?
Whenever he sent in the question, I literally messaged him back like a minute later, and I was like, "You actually made my day. I've been giggling for 5 minutes."
Yeah, well, I did post a GoFundMe that was satire, and a lot of people messaged me saying, "Oh, are you asking for money for powerlifting?" I was like, "No, it's a joke." It's like people haven't seen it. It's like a post about funding to go to Marbella for recovery for 2 British powerlifters. But I did post an actual GoFundMe to raise money for a cert, and Denise and I did the abseil down the Europa building, which
that's
I think is
reasonable.
legitimate. Yeah, GoFundMe. So in response to Daniel Allen, there wouldn't be enough likes in the world to do one for a powerlifting trip.
Any more hot takes?
You would do it for charity.
Oh, yeah, for charity.
Denise, you any hot takes?
No, I think we covered mine.
We sort of went through for the main questions anyway, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose one that just came to mind, I suppose, is people wearing their international signets at local comp.
Local comp.
Major ick. Yeah. I swear people
There's-
must just live in their MI singlets half the time because that's all you ever see.
there was a lifter. He'll know who he is. He went down to breakfast in a singlet.
I think I could probably guess who that is.
He came home in a singlet, and he went to dinner in a singlet. And I was like, I was just like, are you not going to get changed?
No.
He did live in it. I'd be surprised if he didn't sleep in it the night before.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a message tomorrow when this is posted.
Oh,
I might message
You're-
you
you're
later
gonna need
just
to-
with my idea of who it might be.
you're gonna need to tell me who it was because I have no clue.
You'll know.
Yeah, that is a good one.
I have my
Denise. Very
ideas, but I'm
good.
not gonna pin it on anybody.
What's
Yeah,
what's
there
the
was a
opinions
thing-
on?
there
Oh,
was a
we
thing
know
I'd heard
that.
about
Like,
the singlets. Sorry.
sorry, go on ahead.
There was a thing I'd heard about the singlets, and it was if it was when one was away in Pilsen, and if you're wearing, your GB or your NI singlet, you're representing your country. But if you're at your local divisional, you're representing yourself,
Yeah.
which is kind of a bit of a background of why.
Mhm.
Because obviously when you go away to internationals, you're supported by the coaching staff, and it's not all about your individual lifts and your PBs. It's all about a team aspect as well, and gathering, the totals and the points and the medals.
Mm.
So therefore, wearing your international singlet, you've achieved that, which is great. But yeah, sometimes rocking up. Although I think I might have to wear one. I'd have to wear one on Saturday.
Oh, I'm just I'm just gonna rock up and just see people in NI singlets.
The random, I don't mean to be mean. I don't mean to be mean. But it
Yeah.
is just a food for thought of you are representing yourself at that stage. You're not
Yeah.
representing your country.
I wore mine till British bench because it's like I was thinking, Northern Ireland has funded me to go over here because obviously they pay your entry fee, and I was like, oh, cool, I'll represent them. And I remember getting stopped at the kit check, and they're like, you can't wear that. I go, I thought it was okay, and she goes, no, you can't have your crest there or something, the way the Northern Ireland thing was there. But eventually I was allowed on the platform with it, and I remember the commentators were very impressed with my outfits and not very impressed by my pressing.
Oh well, the outfit carried.
Well,
Yeah.
image is everything, Bobby. Winning's nothing.
At least, as long as the pictures look good.
Yeah.
It's okay, I've got the photo with me holding it in my hands. That's all I need.
Do you want to ask your Instagram questions, Bobby?
I think it was one of them was how do you get into reffing and what's the pathway? But I think we've covered that. But what's the difference between like reffing? I've seen Cat 1, Cat 2. Obviously Mike and Lauren are international, and we send them to small nations. But how do you climb up the ranks? And if you're getting selected for like a British level competition, or how do they inquire and go, I'll pick you, or do you volunteer for it?
So that's to do with volunteering as well. So I think there's a minimum of about 2 years as a divisional. But then you have to obviously then have achieved doing international or your national events with your jury present. So for our divisional referees, it's important that they take opportunities to go over to England and referee over there as well. Again, just experience. For international, I think you need to be at that level. I mean, even as a lifter, you need to have a presence there. You need the experience of, because they're completely different going away to internationals. And then you could progress. So then you do an exam. So you don't do an exam. You do an exam for your divisional. Being that achieving your national status then is achieved through your recommendation, your presence at national events, and experience. But then going to a CAT referee, then you set a further exam to achieve that, and that is done at international competitions, and that's applied through GB.
Yeah.
Is it that someone recommends you for like one of our committee members will say such and such is doing well at the ref, and I would like to see them progress up the ranks. And do they send that to the IPF ref and associate, or
Just me, just the NIPF technical. So it would be me that I keep a log and a record of all the referees, all the comps that they do. And then after they've been a divisional referee for 2 years, then you're looking back and seeing what experience have they. Have they turned up to one competition, or like Clare, have they been there at every competition? They have an array of experience. Same as national, then it's getting over that when you go over to the nationals, then they have Adam Riley is the technical officer then for British powerlifting. So it would be him that I would link in with, and to try and recommend some of our referees who are then going from a national, hopefully to an international, which doesn't come around so often, to be honest with you. We don't have very many. There's Mike and Lauren who are absolutely invaluable. We did have Duke and Desi who got a wee bit older in their years. We would love to see them coming back. They've stepped away for now. And then we had George, and George then went down to Irish. So we do miss him greatly. So yeah, we are very limited in Northern Ireland, but it is something that we're working on. We've absolutely grown the pool of divisional referees. I have plenty of very confident national referees who I would love to see get on to do their international exam. But if they're not attending internationals, so that's very hard to progress on to, because they're not getting the opportunities then. So, but hopefully over the next few years, I would like to see at least another 2 cat referees in NI.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah.
Also me. Reffing standards in powerlifting America. Do you think it's up to scratch? Obviously, we've seen a trend of lifters going to internationals and then dropping off kilos, or like Leanne Lee went 3 for 9, missed first on depth, hit second or missed third, and then almost bombed on bench, and then only hit 1 deadlift. And then we've seen like Joe Bornstein was called for a technical issue in his first squat. Do you think that I think GB holds their reffing standards very, very high compared to a few different other countries? Like when we went to Commonwealths 2 years ago, you would see the same countries get called for the same things. Like depth was a big thing, and you're just seeing this singlet come out and you would see the name on it and you'd go, they're probably going to get called for depth. So how big of a difference do you think that is from like Powerlifting America and other federations? Or
I think the standard of reffing, I know certainly there's certain comps or certain feds, which I'll probably not mention, standards of depth, seems to be like multiply and places like that, where the depth you're looking at going, that's a quarter squat. How are they getting, how are they getting that past? What on earth? So I think it varies. And it's just, I suppose it's annoying whenever you see people who are going to different feds and getting what we would deem a shitty lift. We talked about, I think it was me and Soupy were talking about in Reform, talking about there should be a brown light, for a shit lift that is like, you don't know what is wrong with it, but all of it is wrong. And I think, through different federations, the standard, a squat is either in or it's not, I don't know why different federations take a different stance on depth or whatever else. I know GB, we do, and NIPF hold ourselves to a higher standard and higher account. Likes of the ABS platform as well. It's kind of run pretty much similar to kind of IPF lifts, and I know they, not that they run a strict platform, strict reffing, they ref to the rules, and how lifts should be kind of executed. So I suppose it is frustrating and seeing other feds letting shitty lifts away. I mean, I don't really watch a lot of powerlifting in America. I don't really watch a lot of powerlifting. Again, it's a boring sport. I powerlift and I love it and I do it all the time. But yeah, God, it's boring. And I know, I mean, people talk to you about, what about this lift and what about this lifter and whatever. I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Doesn't concern me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we can only just be kind of accountable for what we do on our own wee small island and just make sure we're all consistent as much as we can be, you know?
Yeah.
I think
There's
it's a
no
lot
much more of
easier to know it. It's a lot easier as well for me to go to small nations or over to British and know that I'm meeting the standards, because there's refs here that are reffing at a national level and are the reffing at an international level. Like we had Mike Gibson at bench all night, and you want Mike Gibson as your middle as your middle man on a bench comp.
Center bench.
Yeah, but it's I think lifters can get caught out thinking they can lift a lot more than they can, because they're getting bad lifts get called good, and then they go to an international and miss their opener on depth, and then all of a sudden they're way behind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
have to adapt in the day.
Yeah. And I think that, he held me on my chest for ages. It's like, no, they didn't. I mean, it does feel like ages whenever you're under it, but you know, for
you
me,
watch
if
it
I
back
see the
and it
bar,
wasn't.
yeah, and for me, if I'm centre ref for bench and I see it motionless on the chest, I'm not waiting for a pause. I'm not counting to 10 or whatever it is. If it's motionless, stops in the chest, you'll get a press really quickly from me, and that's obviously what you were saying from Mike, is that we don't let people hang about too long, and yeah.
I think you can tell a bench specialist but how good of a person's bench is compared to the other lifts when they're reffing. If they're really strict on bench calls, you're like, or if you feel like they're taking a while and you're like, maybe they're not. Usually the bench specialist will give you very healthy cues or healthy commands.
Yeah.
They
know what they're at.
They know what they're at. They're not waiting about. The next one was about from me about Worlds, but I think we covered that. I wrote it after the 47s I watched, and it was just a bloodbath. It was, I think, 6-ish lifters missed their opener out of
like
a flight of 8. And it was horrible to watch, but it made things very interesting. Yeah, they were jumping up because they were getting their third attempt, and they were going yes, and they probably hit 10 kilos under the max. But I think we covered that in detail about Worlds. Yeah. Do you want to go through the next question, Jonah?
Yeah. This question's from Andrew Lennox. Have you ever had any lifter take it to the extreme about a call you made?
I mean, that person that was showing me the video and the photo, they were nearly asked to leave the competition. I mean, they probably wouldn't have been asked to leave, but they were going on and on and on about it to the point where,
shut up.
Yeah, the spotter and loader, who, shout out to Niall, who doesn't spot and load anymore, but he was one of the ones. He was Grumpy Niall, was always at every competition, and he said, mate, if you don't stop this, they're going to put you out of here. So yeah, I mean, that's excessive at a local comp.
Yeah.
There's been nothing really. I can't really think if there's anything. No, I mean, that wee guy who was shouting at me was, it's always the centre ref, as if I was out to get him in some way, and I was like, man, I don't even know you, so it's not that big. You just
didn't.
Yeah, you just didn't lock your knees or whatever it was, or I don't know.
Skill issue.
And to be fair, to be fair to him, he shook my hand at the end of it and seemed okay. Probably hits my guts. But you'll get the odd dirty look or the odd shouting and kind of getting on, but you just kind of, I don't know, Denise, we just kind of thick-skinned and ignore it. Smile
It
politely.
usually makes us laugh, to be fair. Make us laugh a lot and be like, God, there's another one taking it all too seriously. Like it's a
Mhm.
hobby. This is, you know, it's not like your wages haven't went in. You know, the bills
Mhm.
are still going to get paid. You know, it's fine. It is what it is. Or then we just go do better. Don't be
Mm.
sure.
Yeah. Take it back to the lab.
I think
And then
people at
after that,
a
I think again.
people at a local level sometimes forget that like they've made the call, they're not going to change it half an hour later,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
just because you're complaining at them.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh, why I've looked at your video. Oh my God, it was actually a white line. I'm so sorry. You've got the
Now
lift.
that the live stream's actually been published, now you can show me the video.
Yeah. Or they usually take to social media after it. We've had
Yeah.
that quite a lot where
Yeah.
they don't say
Mm.
much on the day, but you know, you go on later on and
Once they get behind the screen.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
And I think
think
that
I think
I think that
it's
makes people look worse than actually like calling the day. Like I get it. You're disappointed. I've had red lights myself, and I'm like, fuck. You know, I'm so
Yeah.
annoyed. But generally, you just take it in the chin and say, right, okay, well, I'll make sure I'll not get called for that ever again. You know,
Yeah.
Anthony McCleggan called me for depth all the time on my squat, and I say, do you know what? I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna squat the depth, and I'm not gonna let him give me a red light ever again.
Just think it.
But
I think it's
yeah.
usually a younger demographic as well, juniors and sub juniors
Yes.
that
I'm glad you said that,
decide.
Bobby, and I didn't have to be the old crabbed bitch to say it.
No,
I
it
agree with
definitely
Bobby here.
is because even I've seen lifters that are like they're strong, they're lifting 200 plus
Yeah.
squat, like into the high 200s, and they're putting up on Instagram and going, no clue how this was a bad lift, or like it puts you it just puts you in a bad light.
Yeah.
And I think I put up earlier in the year, it was like Maverick was squatting his third and he was called him his third, and I put up, it was quite funny seeing his third because it looked like he was asked his calves and he got called, and then I put a wee thing being like, these refs are wild funny or something, and then I was called out, and I was like, no, that's fair enough. I probably shouldn't have said that, and I
Yeah.
was taken down very quickly. But I think you need to just take a step back and be like, just leave it.
Yeah. And again, just remember, people aren't out to get you. Like, we're not, like, a lot of us, obviously speaking from me being a bit older than the rest of you, I don't know, half of you guys that are in competing, and it's not like I am out to get you. Or maybe I am.
You never know.
I think Colin's still after Bobby for misleading.
We don't talk about that. It was you that pointed it out.
What was it?
You know what? It didn't happen.
Oh.
I misloaded a last deadlift. I forgot to put a kilo and 1.25 on one of the sides. And to be fair, I was on my own on the right side because someone had dropped out of spot and loading. You should volunteer for your spot and loading, and then maybe it wouldn't have happened. But yeah, I remember it going. Colin was like setting up, and he was pulling the slack, and then you go, that's the wrong weight. And I looked at it and I just go like that.
Oh, do you know the
So
meme?
now
It's
he
like the
has-
Leonardo DiCaprio is like he like whistles and goes like points at the screen.
Yeah, he has something like 201.5 kilo squat or deadlift PB or something like that.
Here it
It went
happens.
through a lot of eyes. A lot of eyes looked at it and no one noticed it. So
it was like slow motion. I was like, the bars must loaded. And it was like slow motion. And by the time he's over it.
He's not.
Then the last Instagram question from Tom Irwin: how long did it take to become an experienced ref? Is what he asked.
These are all very sensible questions. I was expecting more of Dan.
I think it was just Dan. Like, we didn't get very many.
Sorry, what was it?
How long did it take to become an experienced ref?
It's not time. I don't think it's time. I think it's turning up.
Yeah.
It's a bit
Yeah.
like volunteering. It's a bit like every single role you do. You only get confident when you turn up.
Yeah.
And just
I
seeing
think
what
that
gets called and what doesn't as well.
I think time in the chair is like valuable experience. Like I don't know about you, Denise, but I still go to comps. I'll still read the rules before I go. We have obviously the cue cards on the floor, and I'll still be a bit kind of nervous going to comps
Yeah.
as a lifter and a referee, because you want to do right by people. You want, people are obviously at a comp to showcase their hard work, and you want to do right by them. You don't want to make a major mistake or miss anything or whatever. And going to obviously British Masters, you're like, you've got a jury are looking at you and your calls, and also the lifters. So there's extra eyes on you as a referee. So I think if you start to become complacent about it, or you start thinking you know it all or whatever, like certainly I've been reffing 4 years, whatever it is. I'm still learning stuff. I'm still picking things up. I'm still, looking at things that I wouldn't have looked at before. So I think if you get complacent about it, then that's when you're into bother.
Yeah. And then one last question that I have that I'm going to try to keep as one of the placement questions for all these episodes. If you could have any one squat variation, one bench variation, and one deadlift variation, and one accessory for the rest of your life besides comp SBD movements, what would they be? So like say a pause squat, tempo bench, pause deadlift.
I know what it wouldn't be, and it wouldn't be a bloody split squat. Anybody who knows me knows that I have been in the world of pain. Thank you to Matt Henry. And I think he does on purpose, because I said to him, I hate split squats, and I've had them in for like 3 or 4 blocks now. So I think he's just doing it in badness now. But I know they're good. They're good for me, and I feel a good butt pump after them. So I know they're good. So I probably have to say split squats, as much as I hate them. Bench variation, probably a tempo bench, deadlift, deadlift variation. I can't think what deadlift variations I've been doing.
Paused, tempo to knee, tempo to shin, pause to shin, pause to knee.
Misloaded.
Misloaded.
Yes, that's my favorite.
One
That's my
side's
favorite.
on, one side is not.
I suppose tempo, like a tempo anything is good for you, isn't it? That kind of keeps your form and positioning
Doesn't
and
feel
everything
good.
else. No, I mean, I think anything that you do that you really hate means it's working and you need to do it, unfortunately. An accessory, I mean, anything. Well, I'm quite liking chest press machine at the minute, but anything back for me.
Fair enough.
Got to build a big back, boys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't really like powerlifting. I wonder why I do it sometimes.
And you're a bit different because you're mostly equipped at the minute, so.
Yeah, so maybe raw is my variation. You know?
Not 4 different things, just raw.
Just raw, that'll do me. Yeah.
We're saying that, yeah.
I don't mind slingshot on bench, but then again, it's probably carrying over into the equip side of things. Yeah, I've been trying a lot well, not lately, but for a while there I was doing like band work and stuff, and you know, Davey tries to keep talking me into putting chains on things as well. But I'm just gonna look like a mad old woman in a gym, you know.
So much effort.
Yeah, any variations I don't mind.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's everything we have.
I have 2 controversial hot takes. I don't know whether I'm gonna. I don't know whether it's, like, I should say them, because
Fire
then
away.
the younger demographic might come after me.
Go ahead.
One, when is NIPF Central going to be funny?
Okay, you got that.
You're
You're
coming on
on
tomorrow morning. You'll be on it tomorrow morning.
I'm just old and don't get it. I don't know. There's been 1 or 2 funny things on it. But that's only like I'm not being serious about that. The other thing was, if you're going through a lot of coaches, the problem's not the coach.
Yeah, I've heard
It's
that
you.
said a lot. Like
that old saying, if you smell shit, check your shoe. I think you should. I mean, for me, it's about doing your research, finding a coach, having chat with them, seeing the results, seeing what other lifters they have, and then sticking with your choice. I think I've had one, and Sean Ryan back in the day. I had Trevor Jordan for an interim period, and I've now got Matt Henry. So that's 3 coaches in the space of a lot of years. So I think, pick your coach right and stick with them. You shouldn't be jumping between coaches all the
Yeah,
time.
and then some people jump year to year, like a different coach.
It's not even
like
year to
every,
year.
like every
No.
other
It's
month or
like-
something.
Hmm.
Yeah, I see people put up stories and it's like a different coach every 3
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
And like maybe 1 or 2 if you change a couple times, it's like, okay, maybe something was up there and maybe it just didn't work out well, or maybe it just wasn't the right fit. But if you're running through, I've seen people run through like 8 coaches in the matter of a couple of years, and it's like,
Yeah. What's that about?
hello, goodbye.
Mhm.
What's
Yeah.
up?
And maybe
Yeah.
maybe those coaches aren't telling them what they want to hear. They're telling them what they need to hear. I don't know.
And then
I don't
they're
know
just
what it's
in
about. But
denial.
maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah,
You're in it for the long run.
exactly. Same thing with the lifespan thing. People just realize it's a long-term sport.
Well, that's it exactly. It's about like longevity for me is like keeping healthy, doing all the good stuff, the eating and the sleeping and the whatever. Like it's about being able to live still well into your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever it is. And I worry that's a bit with you younger guys that you want it all now. You want the big lifts, you want the stuff, and maybe like we've obviously seen that wee guy that got injured.
Yeah, I think there's
I
everybody
worry.
that like thinks that, but like I think I'm one of the people that I want to keep longevity as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's easy to say like I want that in 3 months, but then I say I know I'm still only a junior, but I've said like Maverick, I've been like, imagine if you've made this progress in a couple of years, think 10 years down the line, where you could be in open. You could be contending for a top spot if you just stick at it and just put your head down.
Yeah, I think it's just not
a lot of people tend to fall off and they do sub junior, and then that progression then into the open. And it must be, like, don't get me wrong, it must be a big thing whenever you're, what's that we saying, you're like a big fish in a wee pond, and then and you're just into the open and the competition skyrockets, like. You do lose a lot of people then as well.
Yeah.
I think life just happens for people. Like I think they start getting full-time jobs and then start getting families, and then it's like,
what do you mean I
part-time
can't
left?
powerlift 24 hours a day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, is powerlifting really important to me? And then you obviously find out who is really in it for the game in the long term instead of just a wee 2-year thing.
Yeah. And I think everybody should be strength training, particularly women. You should be strength training so that you can get up and down the stairs yourself, you can get up and off the toilet yourself. It's about thinking about the longer kind of haul and not going balls to the wall early and getting injured and whatever else. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Else, Bobby?
Thank you
No,
so
I
much
have a
for having
meeting
us.
at like
And like
10.
now.
yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got to
All right.
hop in the car now.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on and answering our questions and having a bit of crack as well.
No problem
Hopefully
at all.
didn't sound really boring because you've no idea how we laughed about this. You're like, I hope it doesn't sound really boring.
I'm learning doing these, so I'm happy enough. Like,
Yeah.
I learned a lot with Josh's podcast as well about equipped especially.
Mm.
And then obviously I learned more about reffing, but I'll not keep Bobby any longer. So yeah, thank you
Bye.
for going on.
No problem.
Bye.
And I'll
Thank
see you
you.
on Saturday as well.
Yeah, see you then.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a good one.
You too, bye.